Hey, how's it going? So let's start something new. Today's the first of the month, and or maybe it'll be the second of the month by the time this gets posted, or later. But it's the first of the month right now, and I'm watching Gratu Orloff, and I thought, I used to have this thing where I used to try and read one comic every day because I have a big collection of comics, and I just keep buying more. And I've got a lot of reading to do, and a lot of reading that I'm looking forward to doing, of course. It's not like it's a chore or a task. I mean, these are my comics, my books and stuff. So we're going to do a comic review, right? Like, we'll see how often we do these. This is our first installment. I read this comic today. This is Howdy Doody, number 15. From March 1952, which means that this was probably on the stands in maybe late December of 1951, but mostly January of 1952 is when this was on the stands. This is a winter themed cover. This is a Dell comic. I like Dell comics. What year did I say this was? It's really 1952? It is 1952. Alright. I didn't realize that this was as old as that for some reason. So I read this today. I like this cover. It's the reason why I bought this comic, was because of this cover. This character, Howdy Doody, is this marionette who had a children's show, right? And predates me. They came out with the new Howdy Doody show maybe in the mid-70s or something, but I wasn't into this. I think maybe the most I know about it was from them making fun of it maybe a little bit on Happy Days, which I used to watch, and maybe even Richie Cunningham dressed up like Howdy Doody for Halloween one episode. I don't remember. But I know some things. So this clown here on the left is named Clarabelle, the clown, and is a mute clown. He who has a she name, right? Clarabelle. I think it's a male clown though, right? He squeezes that horn to communicate, and he's the butt of a joke here on the cover. In some way, he seems unhappy that Howdy Doody has made a snowman version of him, and he has a bunch of snowballs lined up, and he's laughing. I don't know. I don't quite get the joke, but I do like the cover a lot because I like this angry Clarabelle the clown. Looks very angry. Well, let's do the back cover of this, because this is how I do comic reviews. We count the cover as one complete thing, right? So on Dell Comics, especially the older ones, there's almost no advertising at all. Not even on the back of these comics are there ads. So we get a strip here. This is Dilly Dally. He is out of gas, so he takes the empty can. He hitchhikes. He gets a ride, and he gets gas. He hitchhikes back home, then uses the gas to fill the lawnmower. And that's a joke that I don't get. I don't get a lot of this Howdy Doody comic. This is a substandard comic by Dell, I have to admit. There's a text story here. Howdy Doody babysitter, and he looks like he is babysitting a baby lion. I did not read this text story, which is how I would have treated this were I a kid. I wouldn't have read this text story in most cases, unless I was, reading this at the doctor's office or something, or a waiting room and there was nothing else and I was out of all material. So what's happening here is, in this, the leading story in the book which is the best story of the book. We learn that the character from the back cover, his name is Dilly Dally. He's on the right, and he is Howdy Doody's friend. I can assume that both of these characters are marionettes that are able to, they are somehow animated and they are able to move around without strings. Even as a kid, I didn't like this concept. So they go on vacation to Florida to go away for the winter. And this is the best part of the story right here, is they're checking into this hotel and Dilly says, "Oh yeah, I've got a box of mice." And the guy says, the manager of the hotel says, "Mice?" And he says, "Yep, oops." And this box of mice come out, and they're like these wisecracking characters. "We're free. Let's run up somebody's leg." Whee! Eek. Help. Yipe. So yeah, I mean, that's probably the best part, because nothing much happens here. They're running, trying to get away from getting in trouble with the manager of this hotel. They pretend to be waiters for a while. They wait on this guy, and Dilly messes things up and blows into the soup and sticks his finger in there. The manager says, "You again." He comes back and finds the puppets or the marionettes and chases them out. And as they're leaving, right, they make friends, or they carry the bags of this Middle Eastern gentleman, right? This Middle Eastern guy. And he has a magic ring. He's got these other rings too, which are fake. But he has one ring that's magic. And if you wear this ring, it gives you super strength, right? It's a charmed ring of legend. Well, Dilly, he says he likes the rings, the imitation ones. And so the ring salesman, he says, "I'll give you a free one for helping me with my luggage," but he makes a mistake, and he accidentally gives Dilly the ring that gives him super strength. So now they're doing the exact same thing, except now Dilly Dally has super strength. So they're looking for their friend, Dr. Bluster, I guess, and this is these gangsters that are angry. They're playing cards. It's the wrong room. And then look at, he just lifts Howdy Doody up in the air. "Dilly, how can you do this?" And then the manager's still trying to come and find him. All right, and then he's looking, "Come back here." And then we get this. "Did you see two boys? They went that way. Thanks." So yeah, Howdy Doody finds a dreadlock wig and does just a little bit of blackface just for a second, for 4 panels, and then now you listen to me. It's just, honestly, it's like that was the best part right there. It doesn't have, it's just like nothing happens. And that's actually how I feel about all the stories in here, is that it's almost like nothing happens in them. These are, it's almost like it's filler for just the font and the cover that we looked at. Because the show is popular in 1952. And also keeping in mind, this is the holiday season. So this is big sales time for comics, right? So this probably sold well, I guess, to kids that watched the show, or to parents who had kids who they thought would enjoy this comic. But it's really bad. I mean, it's not good at all. This other story here about the alligator also is just anticlimactic. This is a bad story. It's just boring. The art's not really that great either. This is all just a big setup. There's just nothing happening here. There's like 6 or 8 pages of setup for a terrible joke, for just a gag, for a sight gag at the end. It just, I mean, I'm serious. It really is. So I don't recommend this comic. Here's another character that I was completely unfamiliar with named Flubadub. Flubadub is this... it's a platypus, maybe? I just kind of realized looking at the character, it's like an amalgamation. It's like a... but it's also dressed up as Carmen Miranda. So it's like a platypus that's dressed as Carmen Miranda? Is that right? Is that but that's a flower pot on their head. So I think that these are puppets from this show, and then they made them into comics. So in this particular comic, you have Flubadub, then you have this other character who's an Indian princess named Princess Summer, Fall, Winter, Spring. Look, what's the idea, Princess Summer, Fall, Winter, Spring? I was enjoying a nice ice boat ride. So, the princess has a magic necklace, and you just have to speak these words. Ubba gubba tinka tonka, let the snow melt. No, not that. And now there's flood. So, I would say that this story with Flubadub, is that his name? Flubadub? Or her name? With Flubadub and Princess Summer, Fall, Winter, Spring is the best of all the stories in the book. As a kid, this is like the one that it's even though there's nothing really happening here, and once again, it's another weird story about a charmed object. I don't know, it doesn't explain why or how she has a magic necklace that she can wish anything into happening, but she can. See, look, watch what happens here. The fawn needs food, so I'll just ask the necklace for food. And she says, well, Ubba gubba tinka tonka, bring me buzz buzz buzz. Fap, it says. Really? Yeah, it says fap. This is not my proudest fap. There we are. What is it? Hot dogs, of course, with mustard. So he used her magic necklace to wish for hot dogs, but she didn't like that. Deer don't eat hot dogs, silly. They don't. Because she said that the wishing necklace can only be used for good. See, you've caused enough trouble. Give me my necklace. Ubba gubba tinka tonka. Bring some nice green clover for the little fawn. Because that was the whole problem, was that they had a baby deer that was hungry. Seriously. So, what I would say about Howdy Doody number 15. This is the only Howdy Doody comic that I have read. I don't have, I do have a lot of 4-color Dell comics. It's one of my favorite collections that I have. But I don't think I have any Howdy Doody appearances. I just don't. I think this is the only one I've got. And I don't see myself buying another because it was just so poor. So Hubba Dubba Tinka Tonka, luckily this video is over. But luckily, in the future, the next comic that we review is going to definitely be a good one, because I can tell just by looking at the cover, it is another Dell, but this is a duck comic, and I'm fairly certain we're going to get to look at some Carl Barks, and we're going to get to look at some actual funny and high quality children's comics by comparison to what we just looked at. And then after that, we got, this might take quite a while. That's a big comic, but we're going to do that. We're going to review Sergeant Rock's Prize Battle Tales as well. All right, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed our first installment of reviewing old comics. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys later.